Hi, my name's Chizzy Rascal and I run an independent radio show called Karma Radio. Each week we release an episode to SoundCloud. It's usually around an hour long and I play out some of the best new bands hitting the UK alternative scene right now, as well as a bunch of household names that we all know and love already. It's a good place to discover some new bands or keep up with the new releases, so come and check it out. We also have a guest on the show each week, musicians from bands such as Holding Absence, Seaway, Funeral for a Friend, and a whole bunch more. So I've taken out this part of the show and I've added it to YouTube for anyone that wants to listen to what these artists have to say. But if you want to listen to the full show and listen to the artists' chosen tracks as well, then head over to the SoundCloud page. I'll add a link in the description below. Thank you for listening, and this is Karma Radio.
This is Karma Radio.
Karma Radio with me, Chizzy Rascal, and today my guest is Alex from Rome.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, very good, thanks, man. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just trying to keep sane.
Yeah. Where are you? Are you in sort of been locked away in your flat the past few months? Where have you been hiding out to?
Yeah, I'm currently in the process of moving, so it's been stressful, honestly. But yeah, I'm just kind of hiding out, keeping my head down, and cracking on with some work, and then hopefully all of this is over relatively soon. But I have no idea.
Have you and the band guys managed to get together and do any like writing, or have you guys been up to much with the band?
Yeah, we haven't been able to get together just because a couple of us have, not myself, but Matt's parents are kind of technically classed as vulnerable, right. And I think Miles is too. So we haven't really been able to meet up for that reason, because it's just not kind of fair. But we've been hanging out and we've been doing Skypes and stuff every now and then, and kind of keeping up to date with everything, and writing separately, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's cool. It must be weird, a bunch of you that are in a band together, you probably spend so much time together. This is probably the longest time you've ever been apart.
Yeah, this is the longest time I have seen them separately, kind of like we'd go to the beach occasionally and sit, distanced apart. Yeah. So I have seen them, but it's just not really doable to write because we can't be in a room inside, kind of thing.
September last year, you guys released your third album, Smile Wide, and you've also just released a documentary. I'm guessing that was sort of the writing of the album and the tour that followed?
Not the tour, actually. Just the writing of the album is the documentary. The writing and recording of it, I think, is mainly what we went for there.
Yeah, and that album, I felt you moved a bit more away from... Well, keeping it to the roots, but it was a lot less pop punk I found than the previous two albums. Is that something that you guys, I'm guessing that was quite intentional to mix up the sound and experiment a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're all at an age where maybe pop punk isn't necessarily the kind of music that we all listen to anymore. There are little branches of that we listen to, and maybe avenues it's taken us down, but I don't think anyone's from the band is necessarily sat there listening to pop punk all day, every day anymore. And so it was kind of nice for us to step away from that a little bit and grow and kind of experiment with finding some stuff that would be just ours, because I think there's such an oversaturation within the genre and rock music as a whole now that it's very easy to be part of the noise and not necessarily contribute anything. So we wanted to have our own stamp on that kind of sound that we've been doing, I guess. It was kind of unique to us, at least.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I find a lot of bands do that now. Changing up your sound is kind of the thing you've got to do, really, to sort of stay out on top. If you're going to do the same thing, it will, die off a little bit. There'll still be the dedicated fan base, but yeah, definitely a good call to try and mix things up a bit. And then you can still obviously play you're still part of a pop punk band in terms of when you play your shows, you've got the old material. Fans can, get mad for that. Yeah, that's really cool. So let's talk about some inspirational artists for you then. So think back maybe to a younger age and an artist which you might have heard of and has inspired you to get into music, start writing and performing yourself.
Yeah, really the catalyst for this band as a whole, I think, is Sum 41. Everyone was kind of, we didn't grow up together as such. Me and Alex met in school, but secondary school. And I think separately, we'd all been very inspired by Sum 41 at a young age, more so than maybe Blink or some of the other early influences that bands tend to have. Yeah, so I actually have a weird story about it. My dad's car broke down, and in the rental car that they gave him, in the glove box was Sum 41's All Killer No Filler. And I'd never heard anything like that before. And just from that moment on, I was like, yep, that's it. I'm doing that. And I must have been like, I mean, I don't know, because I don't know when that album came out, but I must have been 9 or 10, pretty young, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the music that has stayed consistent throughout my life, in terms of like that never grows old on me. Nothing they do from the first kind of 3 albums has ever grown old on me.
That's a really cool sort of twist of fate there, that the CD just happened to fall on you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Were you into like the rock band, like any kind of rock bands at the time then as well, or was this just completely out of the blue, you checked this out and it was like a whole new world for you?
Yeah, so I think the thing is like when you're 8 or 9, 10, I don't know, you'll have to fact check in terms of like what age I would have been when that album came out. I don't really know.
What year were you born? Let's have a look.
I was 1993.
Oh, same as me. Okay, so the album came out 2001, so we would have been 8 years old.
Right, perfect. So I'm not lying. That's given that the CD was in there the year of release, but around then anyway. At that kind of age, you don't really have your own kind of musical preferences. You just listen to what your parents listen to and what maybe the radio plays. And so at that time in my life, it was very much Alanis Morissette and all that kind of stuff that my parents were listening to, that was pretty much just radio music of the 90s and early noughties. So no, there wasn't really a great deal of rock music in my life. Maybe like Gwen Stefani and No Doubt and stuff like that. But that's, I mean, you know, it's still very pop orientated. Yeah,
but that example there kind of they fall so well into the rock scene as well as the kind of the poppy radio side of it.
So yeah, that was my first real, like, me and my dad kind of put it in one day and went for a drive, and we're just like, opened the glove box, saw this CD, put it in, and we're just like, what is this? This is amazing. I think previous to that, the only other thing I'd heard was a band called Suicide Machines, who actually, they only have one album that I ever liked. The rest of it was ska. And I fucking hate ska.
Just before this, I went through your Twitter and I did like the ska tweet because I fucking hate ska.
Oh my God. Like, what do you have to... Why do you listen? Why would anyone listen to that? Why would you choose to put that in your ears, the fucking trumpets and then
I can't stand it. Shout out to my friend Gabby, though. She loves ska and we always tease her for it.
Rightly so. They should be penalised, people who like ska. But yeah, I mean, they had an album called Steal This Record, and that's really cool. I think there probably is ska in it, and if I look back, I probably would hate it now, but at the time I liked it.
Cool. All right, well, so should we play a track off of All Killer No Filler then?
Yeah. I'm going to say Rhythms, just because the way that song comes in is one of those things where when you've listened to that album as much as I did, you just know that song's coming on next, and you do the little drum fill into it.
Cool. All right, so from All Killer No Filler, this is Sum 41 with Rhythm.
This is Karma Radio.
So now we're going to talk about favourite artists. I don't know if you're like myself, I can never quite pinpoint it down to one, so we can go over a few if you like, and then we'll pick one to play.
Yeah, are we talking all-time favourite, or are we talking favourite right now, or... Because I think the thing is with music is obviously you go through kind of phases of what you're into, and so yeah, which one are you...
We'll talk a couple of favourites, but then let's go for favourite right now, and then we'll play out the favourite right now one.
Okay, let me pull it up. So there's this band that I discovered. I think they're probably very big. Like when I say I discovered this band, they're not like an underground band, but maybe in the UK they are. Called Mount Joy, and their stuff is so good. And this is what I kind of mean where I say like we're not all kind of listening to that pop punk sound as much anymore. So there's a song called Astrovan by Mount Joy, and that is just such a good vibe, and the chorus is amazing. It's just like a really, like, you know how kind of Catfish and the Bottlemen came along with this sound and you were just like, I didn't know I needed that. That's how I feel about Mount Joy. They have like a real James Bay / Catfish and the Bottlemen / kind of I don't know, even like John Mayer at times vibe.
How did you get yourself into them? Was it just like a Spotify shuffle one day, or did someone recommend them? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I think like really whenever I listen to music now, I'm pretty much just hitting shuffle, or like, you know, you can do the radio function where you say like, oh, I like this artist, so play their radio, and it plays stuff that sounds like them. I haven't really been as anal with Spotify as I'd like to, and listed all the, you know how you can like save artists and playlists and whatever. I don't really do that. So every time I open it, I'm like, I don't know. So I usually just type an artist and then hit their radio thing.
Yeah, mine's a bit of a mess because like, if someone recommends an artist, I'll search it and then I won't listen to it. But if it's in my search, that's to like remind myself to check it out later, and then I never do. So then when I go to want to listen to something quickly, I'm like, who the hell are all these artists?
Yeah, and they go, did you check out this? And you go, oh, you.
But yeah, I fall asleep to my Spotify as well. So even my daily playlists are like a mess because it's stuff that I've never listened to. So I'm like, why is this on there? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I fell asleep to like some weird whale noises or something.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I have a rain app that just plays rain sounds when I go to sleep because I'm insane. Like I hear one noise outside and I'm outside with a torch in my dressing gown. Like, what was that?
I tell you what, I've got a good recommendation for you. If you like falling asleep to like playlists and things, my friend recommended a podcast called Boring Books for Bedtime, and literally exactly what it says on the tin. Like it's boring books. Like there's one about like home decorating and paint and crap like that. But the people that read it have like such soothing, soft voices, and obviously it's designed to be listened to at bed. It's not like they're like reading it like, holy shit, like there's this new tool and hardware stuff. Like it's really soft and it's so good. I recommend checking that out. Yeah,
I'll try that tonight. I used to really struggle falling asleep, but recently I think I've been way better. But yeah, I still need some kind of white noise, like a fan or something, so that I can fall asleep. Otherwise, I'm just like I said, out my window with fucking giant torch. Like, come on.
Do you live on a busy road?
No, I actually live in the middle of nowhere, which makes it worse because if I hear anything, I know that there shouldn't be noises.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like if someone says like Michael Myers outside or something.
Yeah. But I'm moving in the next 2 weeks to a busy road, so I don't know how that flip's going to be. I'm going to end up like at the window constantly as people walk past.
No, I think you'll get used to it quick. We hear like sirens and loud bangs outside our flat, and because it's so common, I don't even think to check. Like I wake up the next day and my housemate will be like, "Did you hear that noise outside? Or there was a fight outside?" And I'm like, "No, I just totally ignored it." So yeah, you'll get used to that.
As well, like living in a place where you expect noises, I'm just like, oh, one of my neighbors can kill the robber. Like I don't need to kill the robber today. Someone else can.
Someone else will do it for me.
Yeah.
Your neighbour just picks up his paper the next day with blood all over his hands.
Yeah, but if he sorted it out, then fair play to him.
Yeah, fuck it, not your problem anymore. He's done it.
Yeah, he can come over and I'll make him some croissants or something.
This is Karma Radio.
Now is the fun one, because this is where you get to draw a wild card and you can pick literally any song for any reason. Just to give you a bit of an example of some of the ones we've had in the past, I think someone picked the Eurovision song, which I can't stand.
Oh no, that's a song.
I hate it so much. We had Lizzie Farrell on and she picked Oliver Tree, but that was a good one. I liked that.
I'm guessing this is mainly like alternative music here. I'm looking through Spotify. I share it with my girlfriend, and there's Disney Sing Your Heart Out, Disney's Greatest Volume 3, Disney's Greatest Volume 1.
You can pick anything. It's the wild card. It doesn't have to be in the alternative genre at all.
Well, those weren't my suggestions.
What's your favourite Disney song then?
Let's have a look. I think anything by Phil Collins is just like the second you hear his voice, you're like, yep, you're my father. Like, God, what on earth is that one? These are deep cuts. Like, oh, here we go. Strangers Like Me by Phil Collins. You Got a Friend in Me is absolutely the one, by Randy Newman. He has some dark stuff though. If you go on his discography, he has songs about hating short people, and like he's got some fucked up stuff in his past. He
seems like someone that I wouldn't be surprised if they were already cancelled for like something they've done in the past.
I think he's got grandfather rights though, where like he's so old and people love him for Toy Story that he can just be horrible to short people, and it's fine. I'm gonna go with my other favorite artist, like of all time, alongside One, would have to be John Mayer, and I'm gonna choose "Still Feel Like Your Man" by John Mayer. It's a song about him missing Katy Perry, which I think is just like the craziest thing, that you get to have that insight into their relationship through a song, and you know that it's about both of these like massive celebrities.
This is Karma Radio.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure meeting you via Zoom.
Yeah. How's life for you? What do you kind of do this full time?
Yeah, so I started last year with this brand just doing live shows. We had Holding Absence for our first ever show. It was a sellout in Bristol, so started with some good success.
Yeah.
Had some good plans for this year, which have all, like everyone else, completely fallen apart. So I was like, well, what can we do? And I wanted to do a radio show.
That's awesome, man. Good to hear that you've kind of changed things around and pivoted during this time, because I see a lot of people just going, oh, well, my thing doesn't work anymore because people can't be in contact and whatever, and then they just kind of give up. And like there's always a way to make something work. Yeah,
that's always been my attitude, really. I can't just sit around and do nothing. Like, even just spending this much time in my flat is driving me mad. So it's like I need something to focus on, you know. That's
my problem right now. Is like I'm living at home, working at home, eating at home. Everything is in like two rooms.
Yeah.
My whole day is in 2 rooms, and then obviously you don't really socialize. So it's like, it's killer. But I think we're getting there, hopefully.
Yeah, we're lucky where I live in Bristol. A lot of my friends live quite close by, so we have been able to sort of do, you know, the social distance hangs and stuff. So it's getting better. Is you know, the past few weeks have been a lot better than the past few months, but there's still, you know, the worry of not knowing what's ahead, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, let's end on a more positive note. What's the I mean, I would say what's the plans for the band, but you guys aren't gonna have a clue because no one knows when you can start again.
What on earth is the plans for the band? That's the thing. Like, it's for the first time, I just have no idea. I have no idea. Like, realistically, shows aren't going to be safe until like May next year, and I think even then people are going to be scared to go, you know. Like, I have no idea, really.
Yeah, I was chatting with we had Finn from Delaire the Liar last week, and we were saying there needs to be like the next thing. We've had live streams that was going quite well, but we need something else now. So trying to work out what that next thing is.
We need like holograms to come out of people's laptops so that they feel like they're in the room.
That'd be cool.
We need to get Bill Gates on that once he's done injecting us with microchips.
Yeah, I'll send him an email. Me and him are like this.
Are you talking about with Bill?
Yeah, loads of times. It just his email address is quite public. It's just bill@microsoft.com. He responds to everyone. That's
pretty nice. I might send him an email if he's got some cash for me.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, cool, Alex. I'll let you go, but thanks for talking to me today, and I'll catch you again soon.
All right. Cheers, Ryan.
Cheers, man. Bye.
All right, bye.
This is Karma Radio.